Let me just say this. I made my mistakes, but in all of my years of public life, I have never profited from public service. I've earned every cent. And in all of my years of public life, I have never obstructed justice. And I think, too, that I can say that in my years of public life, that I welcome this kind of examination, because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything.
I have asked for this radio and television time tonight for the purpose of announcing that we today have concluded an agreement to end the war and bring peace with honor in Vietnam and in Southeast Asia. The following statement is being issued at this moment in Washington and Hanoi. At 12:30 Paris time today, January 23, 1973, the agreement on ending the war and restoring peace in Vietnam was initialed by Dr. Henry Kissinger on behalf of the United States and Special Advisor Lee Duc-Tho on behalf of the Democratic Republic of Vietnam. The agreement will be formally signed by the parties participating in the Paris Conference on Vietnam on January 27, 1973 at the International Conference Center in Paris. The ceasefire will take effect at 2400 Greenwich Mean Time, January 27, 1973. The United States and the Democratic Republic of Vietnam express the hope that this agreement will ensure stable peace in Vietnam and contribute to the preservation of lasting peace in Indochina and Southeast Asia. That concludes the formal statement. Throughout the years of negotiations, we have insisted on peace with honor. In my addresses to the nation from this room of January 25th and May 8th, I set forth the goals that we considered essential for peace with honor. In the settlement that has now been agreed to, all the conditions that I laid down then have been met. A ceasefire, internationally supervised, will begin at 7 p.m. this Saturday, January 27, Washington time. Within 60 days from this Saturday, all Americans held prisoners of war throughout Indochina will be released. There will be the fullest possible accounting for all of those who are missing in action. During the same 60-day period, all American forces will be withdrawn from South Vietnam. The people of South Vietnam have been guaranteed the right to determine their own future without outside interference. By joint agreement, the full text of the agreement and the protocols to carry it out will be issued tomorrow. Throughout these negotiations, we have been in the closest consultation with President Thieu and other representatives of the Republic of Vietnam. This settlement meets the goals and has the full support of President Thieu and the government of the Republic of Vietnam, as well as that of our other allies who are affected. The United States will continue to recognize the government of the Republic of Vietnam as the sole legitimate government of South Vietnam. We shall continue to aid South Vietnam within the terms of the agreement, and we shall support efforts by the people of South Vietnam to settle their problems peacefully among themselves. We must recognize that ending the war is only the first step toward building the peace. All parties must now see to it that this is a peace that lasts and also a peace that heals. And a peace that not only ends the war in Southeast Asia, but contributes to the prospects of peace in the whole world.
Let me just say this. I made my mistakes, but in all of my years of public life, I have never profited from...
Good evening. This is the 37th time I have spoken to you from this office, where so many decisions have been made that shape the history of this nation. Each time I have done so to discuss with you some matter that I believe affected the national interest. In all the decisions I have made in my public life, I have always tried to do what was best for the nation. Throughout the long and difficult period of Watergate, I have felt it was my duty to persevere, to make every possible effort to complete the term of office to which you elected me. In the past few days, however, it has become evident to me that I no longer have a strong enough political base in the Congress to justify continuing that effort. As long as there was such a base, I felt strongly that it was necessary to see the constitutional process through to its conclusion, that to do otherwise would be unfaithful to the spirit of that deliberately difficult process and a dangerously destabilizing precedent for the future. But with the disappearance of that base, I now believe that the constitutional purpose has been served, and there is no longer a need for the process to be prolonged. I would have preferred to carry through to the finish, whatever the personal agony it would have involved. And my family unanimously urged me to do so. But the interests of the nation must always come before any personal considerations. From the discussions I have had with congressional and other leaders, I have concluded that because of the Watergate matter, I might not have the support of the Congress that I would consider necessary to back the very difficult decisions and carry out the duties of this office in the way the interests of the nation will require. I have never been a quitter. To leave office before my term is completed is abhorrent to every instinct in my body. But as president, I must put the interests of America first. America needs a full-time president and a full-time Congress, particularly at this time with problems we face at home and abroad. To continue to fight through the months ahead for my personal vindication would almost totally absorb the time and attention of both the President and the Congress in a period when our entire focus should be on the great issues of peace abroad and prosperity without inflation at home. Therefore, I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow. Vice President Ford will be sworn in as president at that hour in this office.
I believe that America has always thrived on adversity, and so I can foresee only good ahead for this country, despite my personal sorrow at leaving public service and leaving many objectives incomplete. Under this administration which you have chosen and in which I have been privileged to serve, the longest war in America's history has been brought to an honorable end, and we are within the best chance for lasting peace that the world has had in a century and a half. Both the abundance and the quality of American life are pushing to new highs. The resignation of a vice president, for example, is insignificant compared with the death of a president, particularly one so great as Lincoln. But I can't help thinking tonight of James Garfield's words to an audience in New York just following the announcement that Lincoln had died. Garfield, who was later president himself, was only a young Army officer at the time of that great tragedy in 1865. But he saw clearly where his country's strength lay, and he expressed it all in these few words to a frightened crowd. He said, "Fellow citizens, God reigns, and the government in Washington still lives." I take leave of you tonight, my friends, in that same sober but trusting spirit. God does reign. I thank him for the opportunity of serving you in high office. and I know that he will continue to care for this country in the future as he has done so well in the past. The government at Washington does live. It lives in the pages of our Constitution and in the hearts of our citizens, and there it will always be safe. Thank you, good night, and farewell.
Good evening. This is the 37th time I have spoken to you from this office. I have asked for this radio and television time tonight for the purpose of announcing that we today have concluded an agreement to end the war and bring peace with honor in. I have no complaints about the press coverage. I will never complain about it. I think that each of you was writing it as you believed it, and I want that always to be the case in America. Now, the other thing I want to say is this. I congratulate Governor Brown, as Herb Klein has already indicated, for his victory. He has, I think, the greatest honor and the greatest responsibility of any governor in the United States. And as he has this honor and this responsibility, I think that he will now have certainly a position of tremendous interest for America and as well as for the people of California. I wish him well. I wish him well not only from a personal standpoint, because there were never on my part any personal considerations. I believe Governor Brown has a heart, even though he believes I do not. I believe he is a good American, even though he feels I am not. And therefore, I wish him well because he is the governor of the first state. He won, and I want this state to be led with courage. I want it to be led decisively, and I want it to be led with certainly with the assurance that the man who lost the campaign never during the course of the campaign raised a personal consideration against his opponent. Never allowed any words indicating that his opponent was motivated by lack of heart or lack of patriotism to pass his lips. I'm proud of the fact that I defended my opponent's patriotism. You gentlemen didn't report it, but I'm proud that I did that. I'm proud also that I defended the fact that he was a man of good motives, a man that I disagreed with very strongly, but a man of good motives. I want that, for once, gentlemen, I would appreciate if you would write what I'm saying in that respect. I think it's very important that you write it in the lead, in the lead. Now, I don't mean by that, incidentally, all of you. There's one reporter here who has religiously, when he was covering me, and incidentally, this is no reflection on the others because some of you, you know, weren't bothering. One reporter, Carl Greenberg, he's the only reporter in the Times that fits this thing, who wrote every word that I said. Wrote it fairly, wrote it objectively. I don't mean that others didn't have a right to do it differently. But Carl, despite whatever feelings he had, felt that he had an obligation to report the facts as he saw them. I am saying these things about the press because I understood that that was one of the things you were particularly interested in. There'll be no questions at this point on that score. I'll be glad to answer other questions. Now, above everything else, I want to express my appreciation to our volunteer workers. It was a magnificent group. $500,000 was spent, according to Newsweek magazine, to get out the vote on Election Day. They had a right to do that if they could get the money. We didn't have that kind of money, but believe me, we had wonderful spirit. And our 100,000 volunteer workers I was proud of. I think they did a magnificent job. I only wish they could have gotten out a few more votes in the key precincts, but because they didn't, Mr. Brown has won, and I have lost the election. I'd like to say a word nationally. I know that some of you are interested in that. I have not been able to appraise the results for the Congress because not enough of them are in. I only understand that we approximately broke even. Is that correct? In the Congress? Well, at least that's what I have. Did you have a report on the Congress? Any of you? It's about even?
Well, Democrats picked up some.
They picked up some.
They picked up some. Well, I know in the Senate they did. Yeah, Bob, I understood that. But in the House, I understand we picked up 5 in the House. Well, you can't tell because California isn't in on that yet. Well, the most significant result of this election was what happened in 4 major states. Rockefeller's victory in New York, Scranton's victory in Pennsylvania, Rhodes's victory in Ohio, Romney's victory in Michigan means that in 1964, the Republican Party will be revitalized. Now, it'll be revitalized, of course, provided the Republicans in California also can, under new leadership, not mine, because I have fought the fight, and now it's up to others to take this responsibility of leadership. And I don't say this with any bitterness because I just feel that that's the way it should be. But the Republican Party under new leadership in California needs a new birth of spirit, a new birth of unity, because we must carry California in '64 if we are to carry the nation. But when you look at New York and Pennsylvania, Ohio and Michigan, and the solid Republican Midwest, 1964 is a horse race. I say this with no indication that I don't think that President Kennedy has popularity at the moment, and popularity which came out as a result of his handling of the Cuban situation. But on the other hand, now the problems arise. What will happen in Cuba? Can we allow this cancer of communism to stay there? Is there a deal with regard to NATO? Is there going to be with regard to NATO and the Warsaw Pact? Are we going to continue any kind of an agreement in Cuba, which means that Khrushchev got what we said we would never agree to before he made his threats with regards to his missiles? And that is, in effect, ringing down an iron curtain around Cuba. These are things that Mr. Kennedy, of course, will have to face up to, and I just hope and I'm confident that if he has his own way, he will face up to it. If he can only get those who opposed atomic tests, who want him to admit Red China to the UN, all of the woolly heads around him, if he can just keep them away from him and stand strong and firm with that good Irish fight of his, America will be in good shape in foreign policy. Domestically, I'm answering these questions because I know that some of you will ask them. Domestically, the economy needs to get going again. The Cuban thing, of course, has had a tendency to obscure that. A lot of defense contracts have come into California and other areas. I'm not complaining about it. That's the way the political game is played. But I do feel that it is important that the economy get going again, and I trust that through tax reform or some other device, relying on individual enterprise and individual opportunity, that the economy will get going again. To me, more important than anything else, America has got to move now. It's got to move forward economically with productivity. It's got to move forward, and I'll say it in the presence of my good friend from Britain here, Ed Tetlow. It's got to move forward relying on individual enterprise and individual opportunity. One last thing. What are my plans? Well, my plans, I'm going to get acquainted with my family again. And my plans, incidentally, are, from a political standpoint, of course, to take a holiday. It will be a long holiday. I don't say this with any sadness. I couldn't feel, frankly, more, frankly, proud of my staff for the campaign they helped me to put on. We campaigned against great odds. We fought a good fight. We didn't win. And I take the responsibility for any mistakes. As far as they're concerned, they are magnificent people, and I hope whoever next runs in California will look at my staff and take some of these people, use them, because they're great political properties, shall we say, putting it in a very materialistic way. One last thing. People say, what about the past? What about losing in 60 and losing in 64? I remember somebody on my last television program said, Mr. Nixon, isn't it a come down having run for president and almost made it to run for governor? The answer is I'm proud to run for governor. I would like to have won, but not having won, the main thing was that I battled for the things I believed in. I did not win. I have no hard feelings against anybody, against my opponent, and least of all, the people of California. We got our message through as well as we could. The Cuban thing did not enable us to get it through in the 2 critical weeks that we wanted to, but nevertheless, we got it through, and it is the people's choice. They have chosen Mr. Brown. They have chosen his leadership, and I can only have hope that that leadership will now become more decisive, that it will move California ahead so that America can move ahead, economically, morally, spiritually, so that we can have character and self-reliance in this country. This is what we need. This is what we need to move forward. One last thing. At the outset, I said a couple of things with regard to the press that I noticed some of you looked a little irritated about. My philosophy with regard to the press has really never gotten through. And I want to get it through. This cannot be said for any other American political figure today, I guess. Never in my 16 years of campaigning have I complained to a publisher, to an editor, about the coverage of a reporter. I believe if a reporter has got a right to write it as he feels it. I believe if a reporter believes that one man ought to win rather than the other, whether it's on television or radio or the like, he ought to say so. I will say to the reporter sometimes that I think, well, look, I wish you'd give my opponent the same going over that you give me. And as I leave the press, all I can say is this. For 16 years, ever since the Hiss case, you've had a lot of fun. A lot of fun. You've had an opportunity to attack me, and I think I've given as good as I've taken. It was carried right up to the last day. I made a talk on television, a talk in which I made a flub, one of the few that I make, not because I'm so good in television, but because I've done it a long time. I made a flub in which I said I was running for governor of the United States. The Los Angeles Times dutifully reported that. Mr. Brown, the last day, made a flub. A flub, incidentally, to the great credit of television that was reported. I don't say this bitterly, in which he said, I hope everybody wins, you vote the straight Democratic ticket, including Senator Kiko. I was glad to hear him say it because I was for Kiko all the way. The Los Angeles Times did not report it. I think that it's time that our great newspapers have at least the same objectivity, the same fullness of coverage that television has. And I can only say thank God for television and radio for keeping the newspapers a little more honest. Now, some newspapers don't fall in the category to which I have spoken. But I can only say that the great metropolitan newspapers in this field, they have a right to take every position they want on the editorial page. But on the news page, they also have a right to have reporters, cover men, who have strong feelings whether they're for or against a candidate. But the responsibility also is to put a few Greenbergs on the candidate they happen to be against, whether they're against him on the editorial page or just philosophically deep down. A fellow on who at least will report what the man says. That's all anybody can ask. But apart from that, I just want to say this. Among the great papers in this country that people say that I should be concerned about are the Louisville Courier-Journal, the New York Post, the Milwaukee Journal, the Fresno and the Sacramento Bee. I couldn't disagree with that more. I want newspapers. If they're against a candidate, I want them to say it. I believe they should say it. I don't mind reporters saying it. I would hope that in the future, as a result of this campaign, that perhaps they would try at least simply to see that both candidates say, is reported, that if they have questions to ask of one candidate, they ask the same questions of the other candidate. Last point. I leave you gentlemen now, and you will now write it, you will interpret it, that's your right. But as I leave you, I want you to know, just think how much you're going to be missed. You don't have Nixon to kick around anymore. Because, gentlemen, this is my last press conference, and it will be one in which I have welcomed the opportunity to test wits with you. I have always respected you. I have sometimes disagreed with you. But unlike some people, I've never canceled a subscription to a paper. And also, I never will. I believe in reading what my opponents say. And I hope that what I have said today will at least make television, radio, the press, first, recognize the great responsibility they have to report all the news. And second, recognize that they have a right and a responsibility if they're against the candidate, give him the shaft. But also recognize if they give him the shaft, put one lonely reporter on the camera. The beauty of my work is immeasurable. Thank you, gentlemen. Good day.
Let me just say this. I made my mistake.
Fuck a hoe is very underrated advice. In a month or so I must learn the matrix of life. Nevertheless, a race against time is held, where the weak fail, dealing with the mind itself. Die in hell, scourge of the villains and thieves. Insert my tape, make niggas some G's. G's make bitches strip down the beer, and the crates get dug in like the ground is sand. And your beef still better unsaid, cause it ain't worth it. I curse shit mercilessly and put some work in. I squirt 10, word to get back before you know it. It's so heroic, like the old story of Joseph. Yes, y'all, you don't stop. Body rock, kamikaze and shot. Box like Muhammad Ali and not. Johnny Green, Sob, Hollywood Bob. B-boy on the block, Pop Keloid. 9 o'clock in the seat and groin. Passing the door, strapped to the inseam of my loins. Adding on, yo, vagabond, rap dawn, shackled and chains. Acting humane, black ski back on the range. Got range like Danny Ainge, one shot aim. Fine grain, Tim's leaning. Nah, man. Yo, scourge of the villains and thieves. Insert my tape, make niggas some cheese.
My imagination is mute. I speak only to let reality loose. 100 proof bearer of fruits, produced from light roots. Like ginseng juice, I sing over loops. Shoot at the beat, creep for the loot. I'm a living legacy. Deep like the first weeks of pregnancy. Ebony light over the mic. And your light, knowledge precise. Cipher of life. Pay dues, take what I use to pay the price. To wipe tears, blood and sweat. Feed from the breast of Mother Nature or death. Only on the days that I'm stressed, yo. My words become the flesh of my bones. I be alone inside a zone of my own. Rolling else like I'm rolling at home. Rappers are wire fruit, styrofoam cup. Play phone simple enough. I can construct clones with chrome. Loaded up, ready to bust. Beef on the streets to leave you touched. Different the beast and steam of dust. Watch what happens when the rappers start. You know we give it to y'all. Got it like D. I keep a skill like Shaquille holds a pill.
Immense lyrical content, now bust the grammar. Niggas trying to make me flip out like David Banner. Busting out the garment, slamming shit like Onyx. When I'm vexed, I flex and turn green like the chronic. When I bug out, you're bound to get snuffed out for frontin'. Busy deceiving, achieving nothing. If you can't walk the walk, don't talk the talk. It's Pete Rock and I coming straight from New York. Now all the setups you thought you stepped up to get your rep up, the joke's on you, Jack. True. Cause when I came through the door, my mind was thinking all out war. I'ma settle the score, once and for all. Ain't no time for faking jacks when it's time for making stacks. I'm dropping bombs like Acts in the Bible with my recital. So recline like a passenger seat, son. Relax as I take you to the max, homeboy. You faking jet acts. Ain't no time for faking jacks. Stop faking jacks. Brothers that fake jacks get laid on their back. Ain't no time for faking jacks. Stop faking jacks. Brothers who fake jacks get laid on their back. Ain't no time for faking jacks. Stop faking jacks. Brothers that fake jacks get laid on their back. Ain't no time for faking jacks. Stop faking jacks. Brothers that
seed of progress, searching for peace through material objects. You go to extremes in the process, accuse others when it's you showing your true colors. Busy selling your dreams, but all your cream contributes to your lack of self-esteem. So it would seem, cause every day of the week you act different. You see your people, you speak, your eyes shifting. Frontin' what, son, you love to perform, but when the crowd's gone, word is born, you get your murk on. Is this the real definition of what a snake is? Y'all should have been politicians, that's where the cake is, but it didn't work with the fake ass smirk. See, the meek shall inherit the earth for what it's worth. Turn around, yo, you backwards. You know what the facts is. You faking jacks, kid.
Ain't no time for faking jacks. Stop faking jacks. The brothers that fake jacks get laid on their back. Ain't no time for faking jacks. Stop faking jacks. The brothers that fake jacks get laid on their back.
Je balise, me sauve, fais mes valises. Je séjourne à la campagne juste pour plus que j'agonise. Je remonte de province. Vais-je m'étouffer, gerber ou retrouver mon timbre phare métropolitain? Je meurs pointeur de pointe, tout le monde suit dans son sou. Les hommes zooment les belles mômes entre deux lignes du Parisien. En fond de train, les parisiennes fouettent le parfum Monoprix. Discutent des prix uniques de leurs fonds de teint qui font grand train. Respire, transpire, l'errance des correspondances. Les gens semblent bien en rang, en cadence dans cette foule dense. Le bétail rentre au bercail, les moutons je les raconte ce soir. Mais l'albergénicus à la gerbe et devient barge. À République, le public oblique plus éclectique. Pickpocket en quête de sac, camé en manque de crack. Flic qui marque tête de turc, beurre et black. Mon gars, ici y'a pas quoi, donc y'a pas squat. Alors il se passe quoi? Donnez-moi tous votre carte avant que je vous embarque. Racontez pas des salades où je vous emmène dans le panier. La matraque je vais manier. Police secours va te secouer sec par terre. Hop dans le charter. Pays de réac, les frontières se rétractent. Traquer le bouc émissaire à la misère de la croissance et la paranova croissante. Acte de délation. Méfiance et peur, on se regarde de travers. L'ambiance trace au stress.
Comment veux-tu que j'ai l'esprit libre? Tous les jours je me retape la même ligne. Soumis des rails et de son train quotidien. Je ne vois pas le bout du tunnel, quand le bout du tunnel. Comment veux-tu que j'ai l'esprit libre? Tous les jours je me retape la même ligne. Soumis des rails et de son train quotidien. Je ne vois pas le bout du tunnel, quand le bout du tunnel.
I'm about to bust it right now, like a fucking freestyle. I'm talking about your bubble, nigga, you in trouble. Thinking that them white racist people really gonna love you. Nigga got him my salary and think he peanut butter. Let me tell you something you don't know. The object is to really make you feel like you can grow. Make your monthly payment and increase your credit score. You can't get no promotion, but they use you for promo. Hey yo, my soul hole scroll, so flow get froze. Your toes get swole from all that kicking low, no low blow. My cocoa flow and go yo ho, so bro she chose. Don't even stress it though, smoke more balls. This beat be tripping, dog. I bought like tipping off. I stop fucking around and now you think I'm getting soft. I rap at 1,000 kilometers per record. The champion, a syllable, put me on record.
Let me bust 2 times. Let me bust 1 time, let me bust 1 time. Let me bust 2 times, let me bust 2 times. Somebody told me I was never gonna make it. I turned my back up on that notion. No, there's no second of hesitation, no faking. Mushing motherfuckers' interest looking vacant. Detroit, where even women and children behave aggressive. I love it, but hit the matrix on the fuckery. My lungs are full of fire, belly empty, and a nigga feeling hungry. Luckily, limits I push them, so this is nothing new. Looking at me like who am I? I'm staring back like who was you? Americanism, a prisoner, but not a victim. I get the opportunity. I'm raging on the system. If I call you bitch, don't take it personal. A nigga venting, prayer written on the showcase. Bust up on the mic, I be your fucking fake, wood. Brother gave me that name, ain't got no time to play, wood. Take no blessings in vain. You made a big mistake, wood. Thinking we are the same. I'm playing chess, you playing checkers, wood. Make that game.
Hey, let me bust 1 time, let me bust 1 time. Let me bust 2 times, let me bust 2 times. Let me bust 1 time, let me bust 1 time. Let me bust 2 times, let me bust 2 times. Hey, yo. How do you make it in America where they love guns more than they children with no hysteria? The lyrical in your area, rest in peace to my pockets. Since I decided to waste my mind power in college, to being dead to the knowledge, chasing a mirage to get caught in a barrage of things that never cross your mind. They mold you in, turning into assignments to get you used to living by deadlines, dead in the lines of confinement. To put it all in writing, I'm tired of chasing a life with a life that leaves too much to be desired. You'll check it, but I mastered it. See a life, they call me Poseidon, holding a trident, swinging it through these lines to make the tide shift. And why I'm different, I probably die if I don't write lyrics. The gift and the curse of living off of killing a verse. One of the last dudes who still lack jewels, burying rap fools, screaming out cash rules in a pair of dash shoes. Say novelist, I got the name for my kids, but see my problem is I lost my closest of friends, I lost my grandma, and I was out in Japan. But if this record spins in heaven, we get one more dance.
box where them dudes serving heli box. Yeah, and them fiends worship demigods. Remember when I slept, I used to duck from gunshots. It wasn't Oblivion, shit wasn't in our lineage. Never idiots, we just city kids where the village is. Trying to benefit, fuck dollars and sentiments. From them tenements where they feel again and they sin again. Yeah, wearing the same summer shoes. Kids in front of you, your eye doing blow in your living room. Some blaze a blunt or two, mine was small. Tunnel view, the way I fumbled through and made doing came out original. The hood will pull at you, feel it just like a Rubik's Cube. They spin and move you, it's similar to a hula hoop. I plant the roots in these haters, they catch the stomach flu. If the devil himself can stop us, then who the fuck is you? Helicopters on our blockers, it's like the daily news. Did we shake them like maracas because we had to move? These times pitiful, I stayed out the tentacles of the system that be insisting niggas is criminal. They'll flip you and twist you, get you up off your pivotal. Then they hit you and tend to lynch you and turn it physical. Incidents is intentional, drama be like critical. From that same system, they never get us, they live it though. Hey yo, we came a long way. It's the villa, the illest all day, yeah. Hey yo, we came a long way. It's the villa, yeah. Hey yo, we came a long way. It's the villa, the illest all day. Hey yo, we came a long way. It's the villa, the illest all day.
Hard, keep them calm when they send them right at your head. Detroit players by any means it is red. If you can't see it, need to get a higher res. It's gang or you're nothing, these shots ready for busting. 100,000 reasons you don't wanna be the 100. Niggas keep your business and keep it out of the public. Can't compartmentalize who in my discussion. Made bank and I made good and they loved it. Shout out to the baddies that I scooped at the Coney on them. Back when I used to mess with Keisha, same time when I caught my first rollie on them. But years later when Jada got Stoney on them. Yeah, we was copping Rovers, we was going ape shit. We was cooking up all this work in Dilla basement. Never played, follow the leader, we still the apex. Filling up your tape deck, win more and say less. Yes,
it's the villa, the illest all day. Hey yo, we came a long way. It's the villa all day. Yeah, hey yo, we came a long way. It's the villa, the illest all day. Hey yo, we came a long way. It's the villa, yeah.
Me show them heroes, feel it. We are the younger, the hunger. Me show the heroes, feel it. Alright, one more time. Me show them heroes, feel it. We are the younger and the hunger. Me show them heroes, feel it. We are the younger and the hunger.
Holy water, crying at the altar. Your desire, freedom from the Maya, fire, burning at the altar.
than arrows. Eyes red night, vision sharper than arrows. Eyes red night, vision sharper than arrows. Tools in my hand 'cause I'm paro. Mine 'cause I see many minds get hanged from the gallows.
When the work gets harder and the thoughts get louder, you know you can't depend. When the weather gets colder and the rain gets harsher,